Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah, amma ba'd. We mentioned last week, Ikhwani, a hadith that can be said by the Muslim in the daytime when he wakes up in the morning. There are a lot of adhkar, different things you could say in the morning for different reasons, and different things you could say in the evening for different reasons from the adhkar. When we open up the topic of Ibrahim these last few days, we told you about that hadith that pays homage and attention and respect to Ibrahim. Again, I want to encourage everybody to go back and memorize it. It's not really that difficult, and it's worth our time to put time in on it and with it. أصبحنا على فطرة الإسلام وكلمة الإخلاص وسنة نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وملة أبينا إبراهيم حنيفا مسلما وما كان من المشركين. You can say that in the daytime, and you can say it in the evening time after Salat al-Maghrib. He mentioned sallallahu alaihi wasallam many really beneficial. He said, whoever says Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma ismihi shay fil ardi wa la fis sama' wa huwa as-sami'ul alim, if he says it 3 times, then nothing's going to hurt him until he wakes up in the morning. So there's a divine protection from the adhkar, and there are a lot. So I would encourage myself, my family members, our community members, brothers, sisters, put more time into trying to set some time off on the side to learn about these adhkar and to get fiqh and understanding about what they're saying and what they mean. And what we want to add on, because I'm not really even sure if I mentioned it today, concerning that issue of al-Walaa wal-Baraa, that Allah mentioned, you have in Ibrahim and those people who were with him a perfect example. When they freed themselves from their people, made it very clear. And no one can come and say that Ibrahim was shadeed or he was rough or tough in the wrong place. No one can say that. Because one of the lessons from the seerah of Ibrahim and the millah of Ibrahim is the haqq of the walidain. Because his father was an enemy to Ibrahim and to the dawah of Ibrahim. And he was a very, very difficult person. And Allah mentioned him by his name in the Quran as being Azar. He was a problem to his son. And if we look at the Quran, we'll find all of the different complexions of the interpersonal relationships that people have represented in the Quran. We don't have to reinvent the wheel. So Ibrahim is a classic case of a religious father having a religious son, having a problem with an irreligious father, as some people have. The son, the daughter, they're practicing. But the mother and the father, they're not practicing, or what they're practicing is not correct. So they look at the son or the daughter as being extreme or difficult or weird. You have in Ibrahim a perfect example. قَدْ كَانَتْ لَكُمْ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ فِي إِبْرَاهِيمَ. In that, how to be with your parents. So Ibrahim would always say, with all of that drama his dad was giving him, oh my father, ya abati, which in and of itself is a nice way of addressing one's father. So it wouldn't be okay for a person to comprehend the khutbah today or this issue that we're talking about on al-Walaa wa Baraa, but then when it comes to your mother and your father who are not practicing or they're not Muslims, and you throw that out of the window. This is not okay. One of the main stories of Ibrahim is the birrul walidain, that he never, ever, ever, ever disrespected his father. Yawm al-Qiyamah, Ibrahim is going to come and he's going to say to Allah, not remind Allah, because Allah doesn't forget. Oh Allah, you promised me that you wouldn't make khizyun for me. Khizyun is to put someone down, to debase them, like the non-Muslim. But his father is going to die as a non-Muslim. So Ibrahim was saying, and he knows he doesn't have any compromise in a tawheed. He said, you promise you won't make khizya. My father's going to be in the hellfire. The hadith said that Ibrahim will look down and there will be a ram that will be slaughtered and the blood would be all over the place, and the ram is going to be kicking as if that ram was turned into his father was turned into this ram. Different interpretations of that with the scholars of Islam. But the point is, Ibrahim's message, his story is tremendous. From his message is the relationship between the practicing father and the practicing son. That the son should be working with his father and not against his father, to help his father build institutions like the Kaaba, like the Masjid al-Haram. Be with his son, his father and the son, giving da'wah to Allah, making sacrifices. So it's not okay for the son to be in one valley and the father is in the other valley. And during this time, that's almost impossible not to happen. It's almost mustahil that our children, when they're small and they're growing up, they're cute, they're beautiful, they're very mashallah. But when they start to become in the age of teenagers, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. And if you are sitting in this masjid and you have a kid who is, aqil and baligh, he or she wears hijab, he or she prays in the masjid, he or she can get up, make wudu and salat. Okay, your child is not perfect. They're not perfect. But you need to thank Allah Azza wa Jal, because that is not the norm today. So we have a lot of challenges, wallahi, but that's from the benefits of Ibrahim's story. For our wives who are upstairs, and for the wives who are listening, and I don't believe in using the religion and weaponizing the religion and beating women over the head with the religion, like all of those ahadith. A woman will never give Allah his rights until she gives her husband his rights. That's true. A lot of ahadith are like that. The lady was going to complain, and the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ala rislik, hold on. Before you start complaining, your husband, you want to complain about your husband? He's your door to Jannah, or your door to the hellfire. Meaning, that's one of the ways a woman can go to Jannah. Taking care of her husband, obeying her husband, loving her husband, supporting her husband, being patient. Because no husband is perfect. No husband is perfect. So Allah has made a sabil to Jannah through our mothers, through our fathers, through our children, and that wife through her husband. One of the tremendous stories, Ibrahim coming after leaving his son Ismail and his slave girl in Mecca all of that time, because Allah told him to do that, not because of ihmal and taqsir. He just an MIA, missing in action. No, he was told to do that. And coming back to them after all of those years, when the boy grew up. But you can only imagine the lessons that the wife, the mother Hajar, was giving the boy, because she never turned Ismail against the father. So after the father was gone all that time, he came back and knocked on the door, and his wife opened up the door and he said, "Your husband? No, he's not here. How's your life?" And she started complaining. "We don't eat good. It's really hot. The roof is dripping, this and that." And she started complaining to a stranger. And the father told her, "When your husband comes back, tell him to change the threshold of his house. You're not, what are you doing?" Every brother sitting here who is married, he has aura in his house. Every brother here has aura. It's the job of the wife to cover up her husband's aura to the best of his ability. And the man covers hers as well. Antum libasun lahunna wa hunna libasun lakum. You are a covering for your wives, and your wives are a covering for you. Everything that your clothes do for you, you do for your wife, and vice versa. They warm you, they protect you, they beautify you, they cover up your aura. Who in his right mind is going to go around telling people everything about the asrar and the secrets of his wife? Who does that? Well, the companions who are the best of the human beings, because society has certain practices The Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to them, and they're from the awliya of Allah in the Jannah. He said, let not any man tell another man and start describing what he does with his wife to that man. For verily, that's like a shaitan in the middle of the street. And the people were looking around as if that didn't happen. And the man stood up and said, Wallahi, ya Rasulullah, they do it. The men do it and the women do it too. He said, don't do that. That's like a shaitan who be in the middle of the street having relationships with another shaitana. So we have to cover each other up. In the case of the woman, when Ibrahim's son Ismail came home from work, as you all know the hadith, this is just a dhikr and a tadhkir and a reminder. Ismail said, what happened today? The husband being in tune with his wife. What's going on? How you doing? What happened today? Yeah, a man came. He looked strange. He did this. He did that. He did this. What did he say? He told me to tell you to change the threshold of your house. He said, that was my father. And he told me to divorce you. Go to your family. Just like that. Now, weaponizing al-Islam is a person coming and reminding his wife of this hadith and kicking his wife out. Come on. Come on. You're weaponizing a religion. You're weaponizing the religion. Can't use that hadith, because just as our wives have shortcomings, usually the brothers have more shortcomings. Usually. Not always, but that's been my experience, and Allah knows best. So that's from the importance of the story of Ibrahim. He got married to another lady. When Ibrahim came after some time, how's your life? She said, all good. Alhamdulillah. Everything is well. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. He said, tell your husband, hold on to the threshold. Hold on to your wife. Tremendous story. But from what I wanted to mention today, and I don't think I mentioned it, is the ayat of the Quran that expounds upon that other ayat in Surah Al-Mumtahina. وَإِذْ قَالَ إِبْرَاهِيمُ لِأَبِيهِ وَقَوْمِهِ إِنَّنِي بَرَأَءٌ مِّمَّا تَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي فَإِنَّهُ سَيَهْدِينِ وَجَعَلَهَا كَلِمَةً بَاقِيَةً فِي عَقَبِهِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ. And remember when Ibrahim said to his father and to his people, verily I'm free from you. Another ayat, repetition shows the importance of it. Ad-dinu nasiha, ad-dinu nasiha. It's showing repetition shows is important. So one ayat said, I'm free from all of you. We're free from you. Here's another ayat. Remember when Ibrahim by himself said to his people and his father, verily, I'm free from you people and what you worship. I'm free from you and what you worship. Except from the one who has created me. For verily, he's going to guide me. Allah said in the ayat, and Allah made that statement of Ibrahim a word that will last forever for the descendants of Ibrahim. وَجَعَلَهَا كَلِمَةً بَاقِيَةً فِي عَقَبِهِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْجِعُونَ, meaning Quraysh. That word, I'm free of all of this stuff you people are doing, except for the one who created me. Allah, I'm not free from Allah. The kalim of a tawheed, al-Walaa wal-Baraa, al-Nafyu wal-Ithbat. You establish the worship that Allah deserves and you negate everything else. Allah made that word of Ibrahim forever eternal, so that when his dhurriyyah came, his descendants of Mecca, they will always remember that. They will always remember, إِلَّا الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي. But I'm not free of the one who has created me. He's my Lord, and I'm going to take him as my Lord, and he is my ilah, and I'm going to worship him and him alone. And in addition to that, I'm free from the people who are against that issue. So we just wanted to mention here tonight, brothers and sisters, al-Walaa wal-Baraa, al-Walaa wal-Baraa. Right now, if the Masjid talks about al-Walaa wal-Baraa, the media will come and put pressure on the organization. The Yahud, for an example, we're not going to make this political, but the Yahud in their Bible, they have some tough words about the Gentiles. And that's why you have some of the Jewish leaders talking in a way that's not appropriate, but they never get taken to task. They never get taken to task, where they're calling for the annihilation of the Palestinians without any apologies. But as soon as the Muslim says something like, from the river to the sea or the land to the sea, you're anti-Semitic. You want to kill all the people. And then they put pressure on the administration. And that's why I tell you, as an imam, you know the ayat, وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ, the ayat in Surah Al-Duha, concerning the ni'mah of Allah on you, talk about it. Prophet Muhammad says, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, التحدث بنعمة الله شكرها. When you talk about the ni'mah that Allah gave you, it's a way of giving thanks to Allah. But you should only tell people who you love. People are not going to give you evil eye and stuff like that. From the shukr that I have from Allah, ni'mah is being in a community where if the media, the non-Muslims came and they wanted to make trouble, we have people in our community from our idara and masjid who are going to say, we're not running from that. If something is said that is against the religion, we're going to rectify that. But we're not understanding Islam through the prism of your being politically correct. We're not going to be like that. Because I'm telling you, brothers, I'm telling you, imams in the dunya, they get thrown under the bus. Not under the bus, under the 18-wheeler tractor trailer. And they get ran over by 18 wheels. And after the tractor trailer go down there, the poor miskeen imam is just laying there because the people left them. So I say that's a ni'mah from Allah, to know that people have your back. Why? Because we all come from the continent of Africa? Kalla. That's not the reason why. This one's from Morocco, that one's from Algeria, that one is from Egypt, that one is from what? No, that's not the reason. It's the irtibat al-wathiq of the aqeedah of al-Islam. Al-Walaa wal-Baraa. That's what it is. So this issue is critical. Allah mentioned in the Quran, لا يتخذ المؤمنون الكافرين أولياء من دون المؤمنين ومن يفعل ذلك فليس من الله في شيء إلا أن تتقوا منه تقات ويحذركم الله نفسه وإلى الله المصير. The believers do not take the disbelievers as protectors, awliya. They don't do that. Take them as protectors instead of the believers. And whoever does that, he has nothing to do with Allah. Allah has nothing to do with him unless you do that with tuqya. This is the ayat that allows the Muslim to do tuqya. The ayat that the Husayniyin, I don't even like calling them that, the Rafida, the people of the Tashayyu, they use this and they say whoever doesn't have tuqya, he doesn't have a deen. And tuqya is when you say one thing, but you mean another thing. But you say that to the enemy who's going to harm you. He's going to harm you, so you're afraid. So you say something to make him think something. And not only to the enemy, it could be someone, you just don't want drama, you just don't want mashakil. It's not lying, you're not lying, but you say something that the person thinks is something else, like they used to do in the past from the Salaf. There would be a scholar that the leader is looking for him, and the leader wants to deal with him, maybe chop his head off, put him in prison, and he's a good scholar, and that person is hiding him in his house. And then they come to his door and say, is so-and-so the scholar here? He say, no, he's not here, wallahi. And his intent is, he's not here standing next to me. But he is here. But he knows if you say, yeah, here he is, he's done. They're going to kill him. That's tuqya. You say something, but you mean something else. And similar to it is the lying that a man could do to his wife. Lying is not lying in three situations. When a man says something to his wife, and when she says something to him, and also in war. In war, when Rasulullah was traveling from Medina to Mecca, and he met up with Surah ibn Malik, and he wasn't a Muslim yet, and he knew that there was drama between Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Quraysh, and he didn't know what was going on. Rasulullah asked him, "Have you seen those people of Quraysh?" He said, "Where are you from?" Because he didn't want to get involved. What side are you from? Are you from Muhammad's side? Are you from Quraysh side? You may get in trouble. You tell me where you're from. They said, "No, we'll tell you from where we're from, but we want to know. What did you see?" He said, "I saw Quraysh. They had this many men. They were slaughtering this many camel. So Rasulullah knew it was about so many with them looking for him and Abu Bakr." He asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "So where you from?" He said, "Ana min al-ma. Ana min al-ma." The scholars of Islam who wrote books about the buldan of al-Islam. The other day we were talking about Al-Imam Ayyub al-Sakhtiyani, Abu Bakr Ayyub al-Sakhtiyani. One of the brothers, we were talking, where's that? We were thinking it's Walaa al-Bahr. We thought it was in Al-Iraq or Sajistan or somewhere over there. You would just go to the book and you find al-Sakhtiyan is his wazifa. I forgot, what did they say it was? Oh yeah. When you make the salkh, the curator, you take you kill the animal, you have a skin, and then you purify it. Tanning, yeah. And that purifies the thing. That's what Sakhtiyan is. The point is, the scholars who wrote those books like that, they said, "I'm from Ma." The man understood Rasulullah was from a place in Iraq with that name. There's a place in Iraq with that name. But he didn't mean that. He meant, I'm from water. Allah created everything from water, everything. So that's not tuqya of the Rafida. The tuqya of the Rafida is that they say, we don't curse Abu Bakr and Umar. We don't curse Aisha. And wallahi, they curse them. So never get fooled by that. That's part of the religion. Al-Khomeini said, "Wallahu min Allah ma yastahiq." He said, whoever doesn't have Al-Kulaini, whoever doesn't have this tuqya has no deen. But the tuqya is against the people of the Sunnah. Al-Muhim. The point here is that we want to make this issue, when it comes to Al-Walaa wa Baraa, Allah mentioned in this ayat, whoever doesn't have this Walaa wa Baraa, Allah Azza wa Jal has nothing to do with him. And to Allah is the Masir. It's the final resting place. It's what's all going to be judged. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء بعضهم أولياء بعض ومن يتولهم منكم فإنه منهم إن الله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. Oh, you believe, do not take the Jews and the Christians as protectors over one another. And because they're the protectors of each other. And whoever does that, then you're from them. You're from them. And Allah doesn't guide the people who are oppressive. To do that is oppression to yourself. لا تتخذوا الذين اتخذوا دينكم هزوا ولعبا من الذين أوتوا الكتاب من قبلكم والكفار. Don't take as protectors those people who take your religion as fun and play. They joke with your religion. They laugh at you and your religion. And we're going to turn around. Now, I want to make it very clear, Khwani, I'm going to stop here, inshallah. And this is not a disclaimer. This is more of a clarification, Akhi Nasir, and the rest of you brothers. That does not mean that we should be nasty to people and we should be disrespectful to people and we shouldn't be accommodating to people, because that's the reality. We have people who have come to our masjid who are now Muslims today. Sisters come, women come, men come, and they sit in our community. They sit with us. And when they come, we take them to the side. We try to talk to them. Last week, when those African-American brothers and sisters came, the sister was 95 years old. I forgot to tell you brothers this. Somehow, some way I came in, I went to Siam in the office, sat with him a little bit, and I came out. I didn't see anybody because the lady was 95 years old. Are we going to tell that lady go upstairs? Not going to tell that lady to go upstairs. What's wrong? So we have a brother, he has fiqh. Abu Asma, he saw the situation and he took care of it. That's our religion. Ar-rifq wa ra'fa. That's our religion. And even the Jewish guy, we were not rough and tough with him. We weren't rough and tough with him after we found out where he was coming from. So in no shape, form, or fashion are we telling our youngsters, hey, don't be respectful and be nasty and be a person who's rough and no. Keep your contracts that you made. When you work for them and with them, be upright. When you work for them or they work for you, be fair, be just, be nice. Qulu linnasi husna. Say to the people, Muslim, non-Muslims, speak good to the people. That's how our Nabi was. And we already did, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I don't know, 6, 7 classes about the Nabi of Ar-Rahmah and how he had rahmah towards the Yahud, how he had rahmah towards people who are non-Muslims. That's our religion. So that's what I wanted to present to you brothers here today, inshallah. A lot could be said. You brothers have any questions, inshallah, you can put your questions forward. And today I wanted to make mention of this for the people who are watching our classes and activities on the internet. Our Masjid will say to the people of Al-Islam, if you like what's going on here in Masjid As-Sunnah, we ask you to make dua for us. And we're also asking if you want to financially assist, because there's a lot of work to be done. This is the area of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck and what's that stuff they do over there? SeaWorld, Simus, the killer whale. What's some of the other Universal Studios? All of that. We get people every single week who come here. We have brothers here today. We have quite a few people here today. We had about 7, 8 people here today. So when these people come, we're trying to give dawah to people. So if you want to financially support our community and our efforts, well, we say to you, we welcome that. May Allah put it in your scales of good deeds. The other thing is, we have one brother, his name is Siyam, Abu Mu'ad, make dua for him. I call him Sima Dima. Because in Sudan, that's the man who's fasting all the time. He fasts one day on, one day off. That brother is a one-man show when it comes to the internet. So what do you call that? The voice was messed up for some time and people were complaining. That man is a professional. He has children. He has a job. And he comes and he gives from his time. And he'll get rewarded from Allah. So be patient. Be patient. Inshallah. Our community is going to go from strength to strength, to strength to strength, bi-idhnillah. So he has solved the problem now, and things are going to get better. I don't know. Sometimes our community is really easy to complain and to criticize. That's what we get on the internet. It's one man doing that work, and I'm not putting other people down because everybody is doing stuff, but the people here, those who know, we know. He's doing that work, and he's doing the best that he can, so be patient. Now the sound system is better than it was, and we're going to get better and better, inshallah. Okay, Akhwani, if you brothers have any questions, tafaddulu. Naam, Abu Sarah. Like towards someone who has khair in them and also evil? Now, that's a good point, Mahmoud. The hadith, one of the many hadith, and it goes to show the importance of al-Walaa wa Baraa, and it's not a small thing. And this is why the people who say it's haram to vote, and that's their position, it's haram to vote. Don't look at that position as being, oh, he's shadeed. Because when you vote, and you vote these people in, a lot of times there are Dalil Dajjal, that's a big thing. But the point here is, Al-Walaa wal-Baraa is serious. The hadith says, Awthaq, Urul Iman, Al-Hubbu fillah, wal-Bughdu fillah. The strongest knot in Al-Islam, the strongest knot. Al-Islam has knots, different knots. Salat, the Adhan, Som, different knots. At Tawakkul, there are a lot of knots. He said the strongest knot in Al-Islam is loving someone and hating someone. He said, Man ahabba lillah, wa abghada lillah, wa a'ta lillah, wa mana lillah, faqad istakmala imanuhu. Anyone who loves for Allah and he hates for Allah, he gives for Allah and he doesn't give for Allah, his iman is complete. So everybody's in a perpetual effort of having iman that goes up and down. When we obey Allah, our iman goes up. When we disobey, it goes down. So we have to keep on that thing. So this goes to show the importance of loving people and hating people and loving things and hating things solely for Allah. And it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not for the ghafilin, people just not aware of things. It's for people who have tawfiq from Allah. So let's take Ibrahim for an example. Ibrahim, he hated the kufr of his father and the kufr of his people. And that's what the ayah said. كفرنا بكم وبدا بيننا وبينكم العداوة والبغضاء أبدا. We reject you. And there has appeared between us and you enmity and animosity forever until you worship Allah. So Ibrahim hated the kufr. He hated the stuff that he was doing. But he didn't hate his father. He didn't hate his father. He didn't. How can you hate your father? How can you hate your mother? How? Allah told Prophet Muhammad, as it relates, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to his uncle, Naka, لا تهدي من أحببت ولكن الله يهدي من يشاء. Ya Muhammad, you don't guide those who you love, meaning his uncle. But Allah guides those he wants to guide. So the natural love of the heart, no one can help that, man. I don't know about you, but I like the color purple myself. The color purple, like the movie, African American movie, Color Purple. If I say Abu Asma, what's your color? Maybe to the Arabs that's gay, I don't know. Like to have a favorite color. I like the color purple. But he likes blue, he likes green, I like mustard. He likes ketchup, he likes garlic sauce, he likes mayonnaise. We can't help that. And there's a weak hadith, but we can use it here. That was collected by Imam Abu Dawood. It said that whenever Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam divided his days up with his wives, he said, this is so-and-so's day, this is so-and-so's day, this is so-and-so's day, this is so-and-so's day. And then that hadith that is weak said that he said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allahumma hadha qismi fima amliku. Wala tu'akhidni fima tamlik. Oh Allah, this is my division in what I control. I can give her Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, different ones. But I can't control. I love Aisha more than everybody else. I can't, that's an issue of the heart. I can't control that. I think we all love our children. We all love them. People say, you have a favorite child? People say, no, as if you just love them differently. This is the baby. That's the first one. That one is calm. So it's possible that in one person's heart, he can love and hate. Love his mother, his father. His wife is from Ahlul Kitab. She's a Yahudiya, a Christian. He loves his wife, like loves his wife. He can even be like his soulmate type of love. But he hates the kufr. He hates the thought. She may die on kufr. She may die, go to the hellfire. She's a problem in that we're in different directions with our children and the tarbiyah of those kids. So that's possible. And also in the heart of one man towards a person of Islam. We have love for the people of Al-Islam. But at the same time, We don't have love for certain things that are being done. That's the balance. We don't have love. So if a person was making a mistake or whatever, that's permissible to hate that mistake, to have that in your heart. But it always has to be balanced. At the end of the day, the worst Muslim is better than the best behaved non-Muslim in our religion. Christians don't care. They don't hesitate to tell you that all of you Muslims going to hell. But as long as you believe Jesus died for it, they don't hesitate. The Jews say, we're God's chosen people. And then here we come and we're embarrassed to say that. And I don't say that because it's a football game, tit for tat. That's our aqidah. And that's why I categorically reject that statement of ghulu that people say when they come over here. Like Arab people especially, this is where I heard this. It became famous with Arabs. They used to say, I went to the West and I found Islam. And I went to the East where the Muslims are. I went to the West, I found Islam and no Muslims because they're not Muslims. I went to the East, I found Muslims and there's no Islam. Come on, man. You came here in America and you found Islam? Meaning like the Navam things worked. You want to get your license? Just go with the paperwork. You get your license within an hour. Yeah, you get that. And that is a part of Islam. But in the Muslim world is where Islam is. I'm talking about the asl of al-Islam, the yambur of al-Islam. They said where the Arabs are in the Muslim world is where Islam is. That's why the khayr that you find here, all of that is part of al-Islam. I used to hear that quite often. Probably these older brothers have heard it. We don't hear that. But we used to hear that all the time. The people bigging up the West. And it has some truth to it in that we lost the ball. Our ummah kind of dropped the ball because the Muslims were in front of everything as it relates to technology and all of that stuff like that. So when they get, when they get sworn in, they put their hand on a Bible to swear in the minister, to swear in the queen, to swear in the king. Where's Islam in that? Put that stuff on the hand. Where is that? When you go to the court, you put your hand on a Bible. What are you talking about? You found Islam in the West. So you can't get it conflated as it relates to that issue. Any more questions, Ikhwani? Bubakar, I'm going to let this brother go because I saw his face today. You've been in our masjid before, right? What's your name, son? Umar. Who's that brother with you? Nasim? Nasim, you've been here before, right? Where you guys from? Toronto? Oh, Morocco. Ahlan. I got love for Morocco, baby. I want to tell you that, man. I want to see you guys here more. Tomorrow, inshallah, we have a program. Try to come after Dhuhr, okay? Nasim and Umar. Tfadli ya akhi, Umar. What makes it weak or what? Strong. It's a science to it, like Allah promised that he would protect this religion. He would divinely protect it, unlike what happened to Christianity and Judaism. So the Quran was protected in that people memorize the Quran all over the world, especially Moroccans, all over the world. And the hadith is similar to that, in that there are sciences that are there, that they're able to tell that a hadith is authentic or not authentic. The way you can come to appreciate that, Umar, is you have to come to learn about it. You have to get in the class and you have to learn about it. That's one of the issues that we wish and we hoped and we prayed that all of the brothers, Nasir, Rida, Abu Bakr, Ali Baba, my man Shu'aib, that we come and we learn that, because you have a better appreciation. When you don't know that, how, it's just, you don't know how it is, it's easy for Muslims to have doubt because he doesn't know. He'll have doubt. How? But if you were exposed to it, especially in the original language, especially, it'll blow your mind. Allah created people like Imam al-Bukhari and those people like that, and they helped to preserve this religion and what the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So come around a little bit more, Umar, okay? Umar, your dad comes to the masjid here? The Noor. What about you, Nassim? You guys come here, okay? Inshallah. All right. Any more questions, Ikhwani? Oh, Abu Bakr is the last question, inshallah. A Fadilat director. We having grub tonight? Atfadal. That's a good question. Is it an innovation to swear on the Quran? Some of the scholars of Islam took the opinion that you should not swear on the Quran because this is not something Prophet Muhammad did, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's not something his companions did after. So you shouldn't do it. Stop where they stopped. If they didn't do it, don't do it. But if you learn about the Quran and the correct Aqidah, we know that the Quran is the kalam of Allah. It's the speech of Allah. So Allah has rahmah. Allah has different characteristics. And one of his characteristics is that he speaks. So when we swear, I can say, Wallahi, Billahi, Tallahi. And I can swear by a characteristic of Allah. Wa izzatillah. By Allah's might and power. You could do that because it's characteristic. So a person says, Wa kalamillah. I swear by the speech of Allah. But Rasulullah didn't say that. His companions didn't say that. So it's better to leave that alone. But it's still a characteristic of Allah. So that Bible has, at one time, it was the kalam of Allah. And he allowed for them to tahrif. He allowed for them to change it. They corrupted it, the Torah and the Bible. So the person's niyat, because he goes to prison like tuqya, he goes to the court. As soon as he walks in the door, brother, and he's African American, and there's an all-white jury, as soon as he walks in the door and they're going to look at, they one strike against you. And as soon as they say his name, Abu Usama, two strikes against you. And then it's too many strikes. When the judge comes in, they say, all rise. And he doesn't rise. Because he says, Walaa Baraa. He says, Walaa Baraa. Or he says, hey, I got a bad leg. I got a bad back to be getting up for you. But he's like, I ain't getting up. That's another strike. In baseball, 3 strikes, you're out, brother. 3. He's already at 3. They bring him the Bible and they say, do you swear that what you say is the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? He said, I'm not swearing on that. I'm not doing that. 4 strikes. All of that is before the prosecution said anything, before his defense said anything. He's already in trouble. So as a strategy, maybe we shouldn't say that because maybe they can find out what we do and stuff like that with the thing. Maybe we should edit this part because we don't want people finding out what we be doing. Because if a person says, I'm not going to stand up because I hurt my knee, and it happened 30 years ago in high school. My back, I pulled my back. So people do these kinds of things to save themselves. And that's what the ayat means. إِلَّا أَن تَتَّقُوا مِنْهُمْ تُقَاتٍ. That's the tuqya of al-Islam. It has fiqh. It's not to take advantage of people. It's to save you. It's to protect you. So it's better not to do it, brother. And now they offer you this thing where they say, where you can abstain. I forgot what it's called. Well, you don't have to swear on anything. But anyway, even that, people don't like it. A brother sitting here, got a nice beard, big beard. He went to get a job at that hotel over there. And they told him right away, you have to cut your beard. He has a bigger beard than most. You have to cut your beard. They told him right away. But I thought this was a job where you don't discriminate. Yeah, we're going to discriminate against you. But you're not supposed to tell people you're not going to hire them if they LGBT. So for everybody else, it's diversity and celebrating. But for us, you're not going to work here with that beard. You have to get rid of that beard. So we have to learn how to, play the game. So it should be avoided, Akhi Abu Bakr. The last question. Yeah, that's it. If you recite in the morning, you'll be protected all day during the night. From the nighttime, you'll be protected all the way during the morning. There was another companion. Her name was Khawla bintu Hakim. Khawla is a famous name for people from Sham. A brother came up to me today. He looked Pakistani when I saw him. And I said, what's your name? He said, Imad. Right away, I knew that man was from Sham. From Sham. I said, you from? He said, yes, from Palestine. So Khawla is a name from the people of Sham. Very popular. It's a beautiful name. She said a dua similar to this, that the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, anyone who nazala manzila, anytime a person comes to a place and he stops in that place and he says, Bismillah alladhi la yadurru ma'ismihi shay'un fi samawati wal ard, the other way, then nothing would harm him while he's sitting in that majlis. He won't get stung by a scorpion, won't get bitten by a snake. This won't happen, that won't happen. So the difference between the two, one to protect you in the majlis, wherever you are, and the other one from the night to the day, from the day to the night. Allah knows best. Okay, Khwani, we're going to stop right here, inshallah. And these two brothers over here are two brothers. They're blessed from